what to say about that. I mean, what I can say is, the book that I wrote is real life. It's not a fictional piece, and addiction tends to roll in and roll out, and it is what it is. You know, and I'm going to be honest. A lot of people have said, "Why don't you just say you're sober? Because you'll sell more books. You look more inspirational to people." And you know, here's one thing, and the people who are in sobriety will get this. I don't know what the hell it is, but in sobriety, you do not lie about being sober. I mean, you just don't.
You don't lie about anything.
You can ask me anything, and I can lie my way all the way down the street. But the second someone says, "Are you sober?" it's like, I'm not sober. So I can't say that I am to sell more books. And if people don't feel that I'm inspiring, then God bless them. I don't know what to say, but I'm doing the best I can, and I know the day will come around, and I'll do better. And that's all I can do.
One day at a time.
Yeah.
Can I ask you, because I don't have any family, we didn't have alcohol in the house growing up. My parents didn't cuss. My mom used to rub my temples when I had a headache.
Oh, she was ragging on it.
We won't get to the other issues, but so the question is, I've heard that once an addict, always an addict or something. So that, can you not just have a glass of wine at dinner?
No, you cannot have a glass of wine at dinner.
Never. Okay.
You can, for example, I was an alcoholic. So 6 years into my I was 6 years sober, I went into a hospital, a psychiatric hospital. They prescribed me Klonopin, which I know, I'm not an idiot, right. In an anonymous program, you just don't take Klonopin. It's just not, you don't take benzos, you don't take, you just don't, and I knew that, but at that point I didn't care. I had a lot, I didn't care, and I took it. And so since that point, I have been in and out. Now, okay, I was an alcoholic, but I can't take pills. If you're taking pills your whole life, you can't turn around and say, now I'm just going to have some drinks. Okay. Either you're clean or you're not clean. Okay. As far as I'm concerned. Now, I may be in the wrong program, because I've seen some pretty good programs where people get to use like morphine and stuff on the side, and I like to join up. That's the group I want to be in. You know what I mean?
They say you can't be clean and sober. You can't be high and sober at the same time. Right. So it basically means saying about everything, and next week I'm going to have 9 years.
Yeah. I think for people who aren't familiar, they think of, if you're an addict and if you are out of sobriety, then you're going to be totally unable to function. And there's a long spectrum that you'd be unable to function. They imagine a bum in the street. If you're not familiar. And there are actually people who are highly functional.
I can tell you, all across the country, you have people who are addicts and alcoholics. There's only a very small percentage across the world. There's only a very small percentage laying behind dumpsters. Most of the people are in the middle of the road. Most of the people are going to work.
Nobody knew I was high. My nanny didn't know. My parents didn't. Nobody knew. Nobody knew. You can hide it. I knew. But I was completely functional, and in fact, my book goes there very soon. But nobody knew. I was raising money at school. My kids were well dressed and fed, and the house was neat. The bills were paid. I was fundraising. Everything.
I can't do that now.
Yeah. Just because I had sunglasses on at 8 o'clock in the morning in the playground. I mean, but other than that, you never would have known. It's like very few people are behind dumpsters.
Right.
Most people
and they're being doctors.
That's right. Street to a doctor, and a street to the doctor.
Yes, brother's a doctor.
I have a question, Dina. You mentioned that you wrote your book within 2 years, which is, I think it's a not a long time.
Yeah.
And how did you publish it? Is it self-published?
It's not self-published. I sent my book to 74 agents
Wow.
and got 74 rejections
Wow.
until I finally got someone, a small publishing company, to publish my book.
And how did you find?
God, through exhaustion and begging and stalking and and sending letters and it's really hard to get a book published.
It's very hard, and then selling is very hard. I mean, how
How do I sell
how
it?
do you promote your book? You know, you have to.
I stalk people. I go on Facebook. Ask her. She's probably blocked me by now. And she's lying. And she said she hasn't all day long. I just promote about my book. Buy my book. Buy my book.
Yeah, that's what I want
I'm
to
crazy.
do. Yeah.
I go to places. I just wrote a book. Buy my book. Buy my.
And you know what? It doesn't change if you're rich and famous. I mean, we've had a lot of celebrity authors in this living room, quite a few. And do you know not one of them has had a bestseller? How scary is that? I mean, we're talking about
Jackie Collins.
Okay, forget Jackie. Jackie sold 700 million books. But I wasn't even talking about her. I was talking about the celebrity. I mean, Jackie's a celebrity because she wrote. But I'm talking about the people that were famous and that wrote a book.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And even they can't sell the big numbers. And they've got Simon & Schuster and Random House behind them and putting huge pushes. And some of those people were on like every talk show you could possibly imagine, and they still can't sell a book. But I think, because I'm going through this with my agent right now, you know, I had a little publisher send me a contract a year ago, and we put it off. She was going to send it out to the bigger houses last week. She finally sent it out. Waiting, well, it took me 3.5 months to write the pitch. But anyway, the thing is that I will probably end up going with that small publisher no matter what, because you go with these big ones and
You get lost in the shuffle.
yeah, I mean, so they send you out at the beginning and they give you the big push, and then you die a slow and miserable death.
Right.
With this
Very
book that you
encouraging.
killed yourself. But it's true. But if you go with a little publisher who really believes in you, but it all comes down to self-promotion. Everything is self-promotion. It's the efforts that we make. I'm going to be on Facebook. But I mean, that's what it's all about. It's getting out there.
I really did think that I would publish my book, and then like once a week I would walk to the mailbox in my pajamas, and then just take out the check, and then go and deposit it in the bank, and go back home and lay by the pool. Never happened. Like you, whatever my publisher is doing right now to sell my book is not even my concern. I have to do what I have to do to sell my book. So he's doing on his end, I'm doing on my end, and hopefully 50 people will read my book.
So you found Vicki.
I stalked her
You stalked her.
on Facebook.
Okay.
I did.
I stalked you. I stalked Sandy. Sandy,
You
what you
guys
do?
do. You know,
I appreciate it from stalkers.
My girlfriend got $2 million
What?
for her book.